You know, if this works, man, everyone with a trophy truck or that's building a trophy truck is going to save so much money on their suspension. Welcome to another episode of the Trophy Kart, everybody. We just got some hind joints in, so I think by the end of the episode we can have this rear end hung.
I'm pretty sure we can, but first things first, dude, we have to raise the front part of this rear end about 2 inches to get the drive shaft a little bit straighter, because that is full droop right there and it's just gonna make it. And the more of an angle it is, the more stress there is on the universal joint. So we don't want any problems, so let's straighten it up some.
Let's nip it in the bud. We welded some temporary bolts to act as pivot points for these links on the rear end. We decided we're gonna build our own links basically out of 1 1/4 pipe and some heim joints. We're going to extend them to match with the pivot point here so we don't have plunge in our drive shaft as the axle moves up and down. Here are the shocks we're planning on using. These are stock rear shocks off of a 2007 Mazda Miata. You might be wondering, these only have 3 1/4 travel. How are we going to get 8 inches of travel when our shock only has 3 1/2 inches of travel? Well, it all depends on how far we mount it on the control arm, and also how much tilt we give the shock as well. So we'd have a 1-to-1 if it was straight up and down sitting right on the axle. But the closer we get to the pivot point, the more wheel travel we're going to get for the same amount of shock travel. So we have like 3 1/4 inches of travel here, and we're shooting for 10. So it's gonna need to be close to the pivot point. Working on a budget, right?
That's right. So how much are the long travel shocks that we've seen online?
Probably like $2,500 for
They're
like really
pretty
good stuff.
expensive.
Yeah, and these were freebies because I put coilovers on my Miata and not using the factory ones anymore. So classic Cars and Cameras fashion, working on a budget. It worked for the cross car. That thing is a beast, and I think, you know, we're just taking what we learned from that and applying it to this, and hopefully it's going to be even better.
All right.
So a whole lot of guesswork, but we're going to make it happen.
Sounds good. That came off surprisingly easy. I don't remember if we told y'all why we welded these bolts on this frame, because we wanted to see, with that linkage hooked up, if we had any plunge right here with the suspension, compression, and release. And we did have plunge, so we're lengthening the length of these suspension arms to try to keep from that plunge happening, because the drive shaft is so short, it's going to be an issue if it is. So anyhow, that's that.
Now we have our 2 control arm links tacked in place, and we are going to simulate suspension travel from full droop to full compression. So how we're coming up with full droop is that we are going to pick up the back of this chassis and just stack this 4x6 post in it, and this is going to be our amount of droop. Droop meaning like decompression past or above ride height, if that makes sense. And how do we come up with this amount? Because it's what we had. You have it right about there.
That's good.
All right.
Man.
And I'm sure you can tell that this is not a professional operation. We're two dudes in a 50-year-old workshop that's falling apart, working with kind of everyday tools. And that's kind of the way we've done things. We're just trying to improve over what we've done already, and I think we're off to a great start so far. So, no, we're not using $2,500 shock absorbers and LS3 supercharged engines, but we're trying to improve on what we've already done, taking what we've learned and making it better. And I think we're doing a pretty darn good job so far.
Not bad. All right, so we're gonna cut some flat bar to weld on top of that lower control arm that we built to give different positions for the strut to mount to. And it's going to help strengthen up the bar. Because we don't know how much travel this strut is going to have on that suspension, we are going to make some little test pieces to mount on our bar and see what kind of compression rate we get, like how soft it is, how far it'll compress, and yeah, let's just do it.
Basically mock-up. Yep.
Yep.
The bolt's a little sloppy, but it's for testing purposes. Mock-up purposes only.
Alright, so that would put this thing like this point.
You know, if this works, man, everyone with a trophy truck or that's building a trophy truck is going to save so much money on their suspension.
Alright, so we'll just kind of set it up and do a double weld so we can put some weight to it.
Yeah, so this needs another tack weld here, same with that. And then we can just kind of use some ratchet straps and to act as like a top hangers.
For testing purposes.
Exactly, and then we're going to put a jack under it and see how stiff it is.
How about we just lift up and remove those blocks and set her down?
That sounds awesome to me.
Alright, let's give her a try.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
You look a little bummed out, man.
I'm a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you know, there's a reason people are paying $2,500, $3,000 for long travel suspension. You know, the coilovers and stuff.
And this feels great, but it's too soft, and we're only getting 7 inches of travel.
Yeah.
Whereas we were looking for, between full compression and full droop, we were looking for what, 10, 12, 16, something like that? We were looking for 16.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah.
But that's not happening.
No. So we're going to try the front struts.
We're going to try to stand those up real quick.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
And then we'll go to the front struts. And if that doesn't work, then we got some motorcycle forks in the back of my truck. We can give that a shot. And then we have nothing for the front. Because if this isn't working on the back, it's not going to work on the front.
Last night we had the suspension set up with these coilovers here, which only have 2 inches of actual travel at the coilover, and we were able to set it up to where it translated to 7 inches of travel at the tire, which is awesome, but it's not enough. So here we have the front coilovers mocked up, and it's very sketchy because we're looking for just the very minimum time investment because we don't know if it's going to work or not. but they're too stiff. So we could rock them forward, which would make them softer, and it would give us more travel, but it's just not going to be enough to make us happy. So last night we went online and we ordered some new coilovers. We're gonna wait for them to come in, and just between these and those, we should be able to get between 10 and 12 inches of total travel, which I think will work for us, so we'll see then. Unfortunately, those shocks we ordered are taking their sweet time getting here, so we're gonna call it quits for today, but I hope you guys are enjoying the series thus far. If you are, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cars and Cameras if you're looking forward to more of the Trophy Kart series. Slowly but surely, we are plugging away at this thing, and it's looking really, really good so far, in my opinion. Now, I have a very important question for you, so your feedback is very greatly appreciated. A few months ago, I bought this place, and we both knew that we would grow out of this 20 by 20 shop that's falling apart very quickly. I knew I would have to build some kind of other building just to house my personal vehicles and our other projects. So let us know down in the comments, do you want to see us transition from a small shop like this, building frames on the floor, into working out of a more professional size shop, maybe like a 30 by 50 or something, building frames on a welding table and using real equipment? Because we could be doing this so much more effectively if we had proper equipment. But at the same time, our whole thing throughout our YouTube career has been, how can we build something as DIY friendly as possible? Because not everybody has access to a big shop with precision, expensive equipment like a welding table. So part of me really wants to exceed and grow not only our skills, but our equipment and what we can build. But then also part of me, and I know Ike feels the same way, wants to stay with this complete DIY friendly attitude, because that's what's gotten us this far, and we appreciate all of your viewership throughout the years. And so please let us know down in the comments. I will be reading them and I will be responding. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram in between videos at Cars and Cameras Reviews. Pick up a t-shirt at our website, cars-cameras.com, to help support the channel. Thanks for watching again. We'll catch you next time.